The 5 most corrupt police departments in America. How far would officers go when power corrupts completely? Could a badge become a license to steal, lie, and betray the very people they swore to protect? One officer made enough money to buy a private island. How is that even possible? What secrets are hidden behind those police station doors? Stay with us, and don't forget to subscribe to uncover the shocking truths they don't want you to see. Number 5. New Orleans Police Department, Louisiana. New Orleans has long struggled with a reputation for corruption within its police department. For decades, the New Orleans Police Department was plagued by officers engaging in theft, violence, and criminal collusion. Between the early 1990s and the present, over 125 officers were arrested for a wide array of offenses, ranging from petty theft to serious felonies. In the mid-90s, the problem reached such extreme levels that a federal investigation revealed officers were being arrested roughly every 10 days. The city of New Orleans has paid over $50 million in settlements since 2000 to victims of police misconduct, yet even today, the department remains under federal oversight. One of the factors fueling corruption in NOPD was the culture of secrecy and loyalty among officers, making it difficult for whistleblowers to come forward. From cases of bribery to officers using their badges as shields to commit crimes, New Orleans history shows how deeply corruption can embed itself in a city's law enforcement. Despite reforms and oversight efforts, trust between the community and the police remains fragile. Residents have witnessed decades of misconduct, making rebuilding relationships a slow and painful process. The story of New Orleans Police Department is a cautionary tale about how unchecked authority and poor internal accountability can turn protectors into predators. Number 4. Baltimore Police Department, Maryland. The Baltimore Police Department has faced near-constant scrutiny over corruption and misconduct, with issues spanning decades. Between 2015 and 2020 alone, the city was hit with over 3,000 lawsuits related to officer misconduct, costing taxpayers more than $13 million. The U.S. Department of Justice once stated that BPD officers often acted as if they were above the law, highlighting a systemic problem within the force. One of the most shocking examples came from the Gun Trace Task Force, where several officers were discovered running a criminal enterprise while still wearing their badges. They stole cash, drugs, and property, used their positions for personal gain, and even engaged in violent criminal acts. The betrayal of public trust was profound, showing that corruption wasn't limited to a few rogue officers, but was instead woven into the fabric of the department. Internal investigations revealed that in certain years, more than 10% of the force was under review for misconduct. From falsifying reports to outright theft, Baltimore's police history demonstrates how corruption can grow when oversight is weak and culture fails to enforce accountability. Even today, the city continues to struggle with restoring faith between its residents and the men and women sworn to protect them. Number 3. Chicago Police Department, Illinois. Chicago has long been known for political machines, organized crime, and unfortunately, a deeply troubled police department. The Chicago Police Department has seen over 100 officers convicted of crimes since 2000. Cases have ranged from bribery and theft to excessive force and civil rights violations. The financial toll on the city is staggering. In just the past decade, Chicago has paid over $662 million in settlements related to police misconduct. A 2017 federal report confirmed what many residents already knew: a consistent pattern of civil rights violations within the department. From wrongful shootings to cover-ups and falsified evidence, the CPD's troubles are systemic and persistent. To make matters worse, the city spends roughly $1 million per week settling claims, money that could otherwise fund community programs or crime prevention efforts. Chicago's corruption isn't just a series of isolated incidents. It reflects decades of institutional failures. Officers have often exploited their power, ignoring rules and regulations, while political protections sometimes shielded them from accountability. For residents, this history has bred distrust, fear, and anger, proving how damaging police corruption can be when left unchecked. Number 2. Detroit Police Department, Michigan. Detroit's history with police corruption is long and painful. Over the years, officers have been implicated in bribery, theft, and working with criminal networks, including drug dealers. In the early 2000s, the department came under federal oversight after repeated civil rights abuses and instances of excessive force. Despite ongoing reforms, corruption has not been entirely eradicated, and the community remains wary of law enforcement. Detroit has paid tens of millions of dollars in settlements to victims of police misconduct, further straining city resources. The problem is compounded by decades of economic hardship, social inequality, and political instability, creating conditions where corruption can thrive. Officers have abused their authority in multiple ways, from taking bribes to obstructing justice, and some have been accused of targeting vulnerable communities for personal gain. For residents, the presence of corrupt officers has created a climate of fear and mistrust, leaving many hesitant to report crimes or cooperate with investigations. It has taken years to rebuild even a fraction of the relationship between law enforcement and the community. Detroit serves as a stark reminder that rebuilding a police department's credibility takes far longer than punishing individual officers. It requires systemic change, transparency, community engagement, and consistent accountability. Number 1. Los Angeles Police Department, California. The Los Angeles Police Department is perhaps the most infamous police department in America when it comes to corruption. The Rampart scandal of the late 1990s exposed shocking levels of misconduct, including officers planting evidence, beating suspects, stealing drugs, and committing perjury. This single scandal shook the entire city and made headlines worldwide. Since then, Los Angeles has paid hundreds of millions of dollars in lawsuits connected to misconduct. Yet the LAPD continues to face criticism for issues such as excessive force and racial profiling. While some reforms have been implemented, the department's historical record of corruption has left an indelible mark. Stories of officers collecting bribes, engaging in theft, or abusing their power have created a legacy of mistrust. The Rampart scandal was not just a series of rogue actions. It reflected deeper problems of oversight, culture, and accountability. Even today, the LAPD is under close public scrutiny, and any misconduct is met with intense media coverage and legal action. Beyond the headlines, former officers and insiders have revealed that small acts of corruption often went unnoticed for years, showing how systemic issues can persist quietly. The history of corruption here is a sobering reminder of how power without proper checks can quickly become destructive, and how difficult it is to rebuild trust once it is broken. Conclusion. Corruption in these 5 police departments highlights a troubling reality. When authority is unchecked, even those sworn to uphold the law can exploit their power for personal gain. From New Orleans to Los Angeles, these departments have cost taxpayers billions of dollars, shattered public trust, and left communities vulnerable to abuse. Individual officers have amassed staggering sums, enough to buy private islands or fleets of luxury cars, illustrating the scale of corruption. Yet these stories are also cautionary tales about the importance of transparency, accountability, and oversight in law enforcement. While reforms and federal interventions have helped in some cases, rebuilding trust takes decades. Communities, activists, and honest officers continue to fight for change, emphasizing that no system is beyond repair. Understanding these histories reminds us that corruption can thrive anywhere without vigilance, but with sustained effort, it can be exposed, addressed, and eventually prevented.